Well, welcome everybody. My name's Alex Chapman from Britannic Technologies, and this is my colleague Pete Wilson. So I'm a senior account manager, and Pete is one of our network specialists at Britannic. So we're here today to talk about how you can make the most of SIP services. So we at Britannic have been doing SIP for many years, and I'll explain a bit more about what we've been doing. But we're also going to be talking about some really innovative stuff which we see as being at the forefront of the SIP market. But just before we do that, I'm just going to talk a bit more about SIP and put it into context. So what we've seen is over the years there's been a more rapid uptake of the use of SIP services. So when we originally started doing SIP, it was back in 2004, and uptake then was very slow. We were seeing dependencies on networks that could not support the quality of service we were looking for SIP. So what we had to do is actually work with our suppliers to be able to provide converged networks that can actually prioritise voice quality traffic and guarantee that call quality. And as we've seen that progress in the marketplace, what we've seen now is if we look back over the 5 years up to 2016, we saw about a 5 to 6% increase in uptake of SIP services. From 2016 projecting through to the end of next year, we're actually seeing an exponential growth with between 10 and 20% increase in SIP traffic. So we all know that SIP is becoming a highly reliable service. We're all understanding the benefits of it, and this growth is only going to increase more and more. So what does that mean for us in the UK? Well, we all know, or hopefully we're all aware, that SIP has been, or BT have announced that everybody's going to have to switch to SIP by the end of 2025. So they are switching off their analogue and ISDN networks, and so far we have no guarantees that that's going to happen. It might be delayed, but certainly the indication still from BT is that that is going to happen. But it's not just the 2025 deadline that is the issue. So what we're seeing is from BT, they're saying as of next year, none of their customers for ISDN services will be able to upgrade or buy additional ISDN services. So if you need extra lines, that will not be possible as of next year. If there are issues and service issues with your ISDN services, you will not be able to get those maintained post 2023. You'll just have to lump it and move over to SIP more than likely. So we are definitely having to make those adjustments as organisations and move over to SIP. But it's not only the UK where we're seeing this, it's right across the world. So we've already seen a number of countries that have moved over to SIP. France is scheduled to move fully over to SIP next year, and their ISDN services and analogue services will cease next year. We've got the USA as well in a couple of years' time. And then the rest of the world beyond that. So this is not just a UK phenomenon, this is a worldwide thing that's happening. So it will affect all of us at some point or other, no matter whether we're a global or a national company, whether we're small or large. So from a Britannic perspective, we have, as I said, been doing SIP since about 2004. And what we've core to our SIP platform is our own cloud network where we have been delivering and provisioning our SIP services out of. But more importantly is over the last 18 months to 2 years, we have invested in that core. We've made a multi-million-pound investment over that time frame to beef up the performance, the reliability, the resilience of the core platform that underpins our SIP services. And it's from that perspective that we're doing this tech talk today, where we're talking about what you can achieve with leading edge SIP services. So this £1 million investment, what it's seen is we've ripped out Cisco as the underpinning technology. We've replaced it all with Juniper. We're delivering N+N resilience. And what's more importantly, we have had the whole platform externally audited. So we've used a company called IGX Global, who are a global $1.3 billion organisation, who are hosted and IP networks specialists to come in and audit our network design, the equipment we're using, how we're going to migrate our customers from our current core to the new core to deliver this leading edge platform. So it's not just something we've done off our own back and we've independently, or we have validated it ourselves. We've got these specialists in to audit it. Now that's been signed off, we are in the process of migrating our customers across. So this new core, what is it going to deliver? Well, at the heart of it is a fully meshed network that is not just offering data center resilience, but also duplication of equipment within each data center. And that is what means that we can give us this N+N resilience. And from a scalability perspective, we can increment in bandwidths of 25 gig, 40 gig, and 100 gig increments. So our NOC are constantly monitoring this. And from a resilience aspect, which we're not just talking about standard failover, but about high availability. So this is instant, seamless redundancy at node level, at link level, from a hardware level as well. So it's dual components within each piece of hardware, and from software resiliency as well. So that's the extent that we've gone into to deliver a platform that can provide the services that we're talking about today. From a monitoring perspective, we have our NOC, our own in-house NOC, monitoring our core across a whole plethora of KPIs. So we've only got a few of them up here, but it goes into what about the device? Are the devices up or down? What's the packet loss? What is the latency? And we're continuously monitoring this across our network. And from our perspective, it means that we can deliver an extra level of support to our customers, because if you have any call quality issues, because we're monitoring this from LAN side of the router all the way across the link, across our core, across the PSTN breakout through our SIP platform, it means that we can identify which element of that chain is experiencing call quality, or is it actually before the call even hits our network or the router that we provide. So in other words, is it actually an element within your own network where you're experiencing call quality issues? So there's a lot of granularity that we have, and our NOC operate on a 24/7, 365 basis. And all of this is to support our customers. So it is just about our customers. It is about creating value for our customers so that we can deliver this state-of-the-art network that can deliver highly robust and reliable platforms to be able to host a whole plethora of systems and services and applications, and not just individual applications, but also some very deep level integration, for example, for DTMF masking. And also it means that our customer-centric approach is giving our customers huge confidence in us as a partner, because we are not just looking to deliver services, but we're actually looking to the future. And where necessary, we're making the adjustments and we're dipping our hands into our pockets to make sure that we can invest in platforms for the future for the benefit of our customers. So just before I wrap up, and you'll be glad to know this is the last slide, and I will hand over to Pete, who will do a very good demonstration of what our SIP services can achieve. Just to set the scene a bit, so NetX2 is our second generation SIP platform, and it is founded on this core network that I've been talking about. And it means that you can flex up, you can flex down SIP channels, so you've got the flexibility there. It's highly feature rich, and I'll touch on that, and Pete will go into it in more detail. But at the core of it is a portal. It's a portal that our NOC use, that our customer service desk use to make changes to your SIP platform. But more than that, it's a portal that we extend out to you for you to be able to make the changes, for you to be able to run reports at a SIP platform layer yourselves. So we are devolving some of that control right out to you so that you have the same visibility as our service desk and our NOC. Within the platform itself and through this portal, you can create DR call routing plans. You can create, combined with some of our other services, flexible and intelligent DR call routing for contact centre operations. There's a wealth of analytics as well, again, which Pete will go through, and we have a development roadmap planned out. A lot of it is based on customer feedback, so through this portal, customers can give their own feedback about what's missing, additional features, or just even small tweaks to the portal. So some of the things that we're looking to introduce are things like network-based announcements. So at SIP platform layer, so this is before call even touches the PBX. So if, for example, you wanted to say across every single DDI, across every single hunt group and call centre group, that you're recording calls for training and monitoring purposes, we will be able to introduce and have that recording, that announcement made at SIP platform layer. So that's it from me. I'm going to hand over to Pete, who will be showing you a demonstration. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Alex. My name is Pete Wilson. I'm part of the pre-sales team here at Britannic Technologies, and I'm going to do a quick demo of the NetX2 portal. So when you log on, you immediately see this dashboard, and you can completely customize the dashboard to your specific needs. The dashboard has a lot of different features on here, and I'm going to talk through a few different ones to begin with. Anyone who is currently using NetX from Britannic won't have access to this. Any in-life changes that you need done to your SIP service, you call up Britannic and we'll sort out all the changes for you. Eventually, when this is live for our customers, you'll be able to go on here and do the changes yourself. Who's going to be using this sort of portal? There could be anyone within your organisation typically could use this. It could be an IT manager who wants to make sure that your voice traffic is routing correctly. It could be a call centre manager who wants to make sure that the calls are routing to the right people at the right time of day. They may want to see how busy different times of day are and whether they've got enough channels open. It could be a marketing manager that wants to be able to see how successful a call campaign has been. It could be someone in your billing team who wants to reconcile an invoice against the calls that have been made. Or it could be someone on a help desk that just wants to be able to look at a call plan and make sure that it's routing to the right place. Within the dashboard, you will be able to configure how each user has access to the platform. But typically everyone will have this dashboard when they first arrive on the portal. You can customize this completely, so you can add different widgets demonstrating how your calls are being received, how they're routing, and these can be moved around to suit your own specific requirements. Once you're on the portal, you may be able to download information from here. So you may only ever need to go onto the front page and have everything you need just from a few clicks away. If you actually need to manage call trunks and call flows, you can very simply come into the call flow area, and you can create a fresh call flow if you wanted. And this could be a blank one, we call it default, and there's a blank canvas here. So from here, this green telephone here demonstrates the flow of the call as the call hits the SIP platform. And from here you can decide how you're going to route that call. So you may want to route it to a trunk, and then you can set different options and decide how you want it to fail over. You can completely customize this to however you want it to specifically route. Alternatively, we have some template trunks already created, and therefore all you need to do is change a few variables on the call flow. I want to show you a specific call flow now, which is called a dynamic call routing flow. On this particular call flow, you may not be able to see this on the screen, but this is routing to a specific IP address. What this is doing is it's routing the call to a RESTful API. So it's all very well being able to route the call via the portal, but you may actually have a large CRM with a massive database full of different users and clients' records. And you may actually want to be able to interact, classic pop-up, you may want to interact with that CRM to determine how the call is routed. So for a quick example, say you have a caller come in who hasn't called in over 5 years, and they live in the Midlands. When that call comes in, you can see who that person is. The call hits this dynamic API and decides I'm going to route it to the CRM. The CRM sees who that caller is, it sees the number they've tried to dial, and it says, actually, this person's based in the Midlands. We spoke to them about 5 years ago. Why don't we route that person to the Midlands office? So they get the local presence, they get that personal touch. It could be someone that has never called before, and the RESTful API says, actually, I don't know who this caller is, they're not in our CRM, I'm going to let it go over to the default route. That caller could have a really productive conversation with one of your team and call back in a week's time. At this point, when the call comes in, it hits that RESTful API and it sends an HTTP post request to your CRM, and the CRM sees that that caller called last week, and maybe they spoke to Daisy and they had a great conversation and it was going really well, and the CRM decides, I want this to go back to Daisy to follow up on that call. So the call goes straight through back here to its own new endpoint, which is to Daisy, which isn't on here. At that point, you've been able to acquire agent affinity. That means that the caller has that continued relationship with the original person they spoke to. They don't have to worry about having to explain what they spoke to last time. Everything's fresh in everyone's memory. You may even have a screen pop-up come up as well that tells Daisy who this caller is, so that they have all the information there to hand. This is a much more dynamic way of routing a call. For the techies out there, it's using JSON, and so you can develop on your own CRM in the background how you want the calls routed. You don't need to go on here and create thousands of different routing plans for all of your customers. This is just a very basic way of saying, we're going to take this call and give it back to your development team and let them work out how the call is going to route. Having that sort of ability is very different to other call routing plans available on the market at the moment. So we can really create different bespoke plans based on how you want to route your calls. As Alex mentioned earlier, there's a little feedback button on almost every single page. So at any point, if something's not working how you want, if you have an idea, or if you want an improvement to be made, you can fill this quickly in and it will come through to Britannic. The next feature I'd like to talk about is the number filters. So on here, we have blacklists and whitelists. What this means is that you're able to determine whether a call comes through or doesn't come through. So for example, you can, if you could set a blanket blacklist number for all 09 numbers, so that your users can't dial 09 numbers and face those high extortionate premium rate fees. However, there may be a specific 09 number that you need to dial. For example, the DVLA has an 0906 number. So you may want to add that 0906 number to the whitelist, but have on the blacklist all of the 090 numbers, so that only that one specific number can be dialed. Likewise, you may want to prevent international calling. You may want to make it so only UK numbers can be dialed. It could also be used to prevent nuisance callers from calling in, so it blocks them from actually coming through. That is basically what I have to show you about the call portal at the moment. There will be further updates. This is currently in development. We don't have an ETA of when it will be fully live for our customers, but as you can see, it's a powerful tool and it should be ready soon. Thank you.